Hi guys, my name is Nadia Andreeva. I'm a certified wellness coach working from New York, and I'm bringing you special interviews with experts in different fields. And today we have a very special expert. We're going to be talking about essential oils with Sonia Masako, who has practice in New Mexico in Albuquerque. Sonia, do you want to take a few seconds to introduce yourself and tell us about what you practice and I guess what you use in your practice?
Yes, willingly. I'm Sonia Masoko, and I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And for quite a while, I would say over 10 years, I've been here in this town consulting individuals and also uh, teaching in alternative medicine, herbalism, aromatherapy, and Ayurveda. In my practice, what I actually do is consult with individuals on a one-to-one basis, and it's going to be in person or even by Skype, and give them an overall view of what their imbalance is or what their main imbalance is. So even if they might have a primary concern, uh, with the knowledge of Ayurveda, I can give them what is also the bigger picture. So we address then those issues with either herbs or aromatherapy or diet and lifestyle.
Yeah, and I've been to your office and it looks amazing. It looks like a place of a modern day witch. It's like full of herbs and special ingredients.
Actually, everybody's always amazed when they go to the apothecary because we have, Western herbs, we have Ayurvedic herbs, we have Chinese herbs. But then, of course, we also mix tinctures for people or we mix oils for people. So we have all of the essential oils, all of the bases, and of course, a lot of jars and bottles and things. So it does look like, a little bit of Hogwarts in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, it's really cool. So let's talk a little bit about essential oils, and we're going to cover some aspects that not a lot of people are familiar with. So, how do essential oils work? Um, and how powerful is their effect? Is it enough to cure a disease, or is it something that can only be used as a supplementary, um, kind of on top of herbs or medicine?
In essential oils work in a variety of ways. So, although a lot of people think of aromatherapy and then think of a candle,
Hmm.
aromatherapy goes way deeper than that. And we're actually seeing more and more studies, even available on PubMed, of the efficacy of some of these essential oils for in clinical trials, even in treatment of some type of pathogens. However, when we're using essential oils, what we have first is an olfactory experience. So we smell something, and this actually will trigger some type of memory. So the olfactory part normally triggers a memory, but also what happens is that there is a chemical exchange. That is, when we're smelling essential oils, although we're thinking that we're smelling lavender, what we're actually smelling are combination of chemicals. So there are ethers, there are esters, there are monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes, and within these chemicals, they release a specific message to the brain: relax, be, produce more endorphins, or in case of rosemary or others, get excited. So basically, with the olfactory perception, there's also a chemical exchange which is going to trigger some type of response from the pituitary gland. So something is going to be affecting our body. So when we're smelling something, something is going to happen. It's not innocuous. The more different ones we smell, the more different reactions we are provoking. Some things can be, hormonal balancers. Some things can be exciting. And then there's also the fact of transdermal effect. That is, we can apply an essential oil on the skin, and this is not only going to be affecting the skin, but it's actually going to go beyond because there's such small molecules that these are going to be penetrating to the skin and going into the bloodstream. So frankly, we also are going to have a transdermal effect with the essential oils. So although considered mainly complementary or alternative medicine, there are people that are actually using aromatherapy in a very clinical way. And so there are people that are treating a variety of conditions with aromatherapy. So anything from parasitic infestation or anxiety or a post-traumatic stress disorder or emphysema. So there's a wide application, using different essential oils in a therapeutic way.
That's so fascinating, and I think not a lot of people think that essential oil can be almost like a little message that we can send to our brain, like do this, do that.
Oh, absolutely. If you would just sniff peppermint, and I don't want to get anybody hung up on this, you will become a little bit more alert, a little bit more active, and you will have a little bit of more pep in your step. If you sniff and spend rosemary, you'll remember things and you'll become more affluent with your writing. If you're instead inhaling lemon balm or melissa, this will calm you down, and so relieve stress or PTSD, but also lower your blood pressure. So you can have different types of effects depending on what you're inhaling.
Yeah, and it's such an amazing concept, and it just brings back that understanding that everything that we're surrounded with can be a medicine and can be used in a certain way if we understand the
Absolutely,
qualities and how it can be used.
absolutely. In Ayurveda we say anything is medicine and anything is poison. Because let's say that you're already adrenal exhausted and now you're sniffing peppermint all the time. You will push yourself to go even further, but you're worsening your case of adrenal exhaustion. Or let's say that you have some type of toxicity in the liver and you decide that, or someone told you that using oregano or some essential oils like eucalyptus might be a good thing for you. Well, those oils can be a little bit toxic, so they might put a little bit more burden on the liver than you may need. So yes, everything could be medicine, everything could be poison.
That's amazing. It just gave me goosebumps while you're talking about it. So when people think of essential oils, a lot of the times they think only about stress relief. And you already mentioned that there are lots of other things that essential oils can be good for. But if we are thinking about stress relief, and so many people are stressed out, what essential oils can we use and how can we use them to reduce stress?
Well, I would say, of course, what everybody knows very well for stress relief is going to be the use of lavender. However, number one use for an essential oil for stress relief would be actually bergamot. Bergamot is Citrus bergamia. It's actually from a citrus rind, and it's wonderful for relieving stress and actually encouraging people also to rest and relax and sleep. Also, lemon balm and melissa are very good. But sometimes these are nice to just clear the stress, but sometimes people need deeper relaxation. So in those cases, I would prefer using woods. So anything like a cedar wood or a sandalwood or a benzoin would be helpful.
Okay.
So how you would use this, it would be, you have a variety of ways of application of essential oils. We normally will dilute them in some way, but you can either have an aromatic mist of them, or you may be actually putting a couple of drops on a tissue or in a counted round in your pillow or on your desk. That way you will have the aroma lightly in the atmosphere. Or you might be making an essential oil blend for yourself. And normally, when we're looking at stress, we're looking at a 2 to 3% dilution. That is, in a base of vegetable oil, and let's say that we're talking about maybe a 1 ounce dropper bottle, we might be adding to that maybe 12 maximum drops of essential oil in a base of maybe jojoba or fractionated coconut. And this is like the dilution that you don't want to exceed, because in the moment that we're dealing with mental, emotional aspects, we normally need less. Less is actually more.
Okay.
When we're looking for physical application, then we need higher dosage. So normally we're looking at 5% or 7% dilution. So, what the way an essential oil will work and how much chemical you're actually adding is going to work on different spheres of the body.
That's so cool. So basically, when somebody buys an essential oil, it's not that they should start using essential oil directly on their like wrists or right under their nose. They actually have to dilute it.
Actually, it's way much safer to dilute it. As a matter of fact, I can tell you, although a lot of people are saying, oh, use eucalyptus, use that. You really don't want to use essential oils directly on any type of mucous membrane, or actually directly on the skin. Normally, it's recommended to dilute them. It is true that if you pour an essential oil on your skin, it's not going to make but because it's chemical, it's not going to make a hole on your skin.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them are irritants.
That would be scary.
There's no fumes that are going to come up or anything. But basically, some of them are skin irritants, and some of them are also phototoxic. So then, if you put it on your skin and then go out in the sunshine, then you'll have a brown patch that doesn't go away for a long time. So that's what you would want to definitely dilute them.
And I had an experience with a brown patch when I put essential oil a couple years ago on my wrist, and it stayed for the whole year.
Yes.
So thanks for reminding that we do have to dilute them.
Yes.
And that less is more. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about a couple of oils that everyone should have. Like when we talk about spices that everyone should have, we talk about fennel and cumin and coriander, turmeric. What are some essential oils that everyone should have, like every family should have?
I think that every family should have lavender, a true lavender. So it's actually called lavandula vera. Okay.
That's pretty.
I think also every family should have lemon for sure. Lemon essential oil. It should be actually organic. Should be in almost every household because not only can it lend to flavoring, so you can actually add it to your ice cubes or add it to your water, but it actually is an essential oil which is uplifting and positive. So it's considered one of the happiest oils in aromatherapy. So if somebody is slightly depressed, you can always use a citrus oil, and that would make them a little bit happier. And also, it's a very good oil. Now they're doing a lot of research studies on the component of. So it is high in monoterpenes, and one of these monoterpenes is D-limonene. And in this D-limonene, they found has a high anti-cancer activity. So adding just 2 drops to 500 ml of water is a good thing to do and have during the day. Another thing that I think that everybody should have is rosemary. So this essential oil is very useful because it's on one hand it warms and it increases circulation, and it can also relieve muscle aches, but it's also good for the respiratory system, and it's also very good for memory. So it has a multitude of applications, and it's a really easy oil to have. Plus, energetically, it also dispels things that can be remaining in the space. So sometimes, you go into a space and it doesn't feel clean, or you've just met with somebody and it doesn't feel right. Rosemary just clears a lot of things. So definitely those. Eucalyptus is also very good, very useful in times of epidemics or when people have cold, cough, and congestion. This can be added, actually to to the massage oil and put on the chest to increase the person's response to immunity. Tea tree is actually a very good oil to have. A lot of people don't like the smell of tea tree, but it's a very good antibacterial. And frankly, one of the good things of tea tree is that it increases the potency of others' essential oils. So the moment that we mix one essential oil with another, we have a catalytic effect. So we call it tea tree a good catalyst because it actually increases the potency of your rosemary. It increases the potency of your eucalyptus when combined. Another one for all women is geranium, because geranium is actually a very good hormonal balancer. And so this can be used in a variety of ways. It can be used in a massage oil, or also can be used as diluted for a toner, or actually can be used or added into a cleanser, and it kind of balances oily skin or oily dry skin. So when people have mixed skin complexions, this can be added. But in any case, geranium is quite lovely and is harmonious as an essential oil. So it's a cheaper version than rose. So rose is a very expensive essential oil, and a lot of people will opt to use geranium. So one of the geraniums that is very popular right now is rose geranium. And so this is an excellent geranium, and it smells a little bit like rose, but the price, of course, is nowhere close to rose, and it's a really nice oil to have. And of course, because we're all addicts of work and being awake and being efficient, I would say peppermint. And I must say, I always carry peppermint in my purse, just because sometimes, you might just need to have that extra step, or sometimes you need to, create more attention in the room. Sometimes I must say, now some of my students might see this video, but before class, I might be dropping a few drops of peppermint on the floor of the classroom to keep them alert. That way,
that's really cool. I'm gonna do it in the workshop.
But when I teach from 6 to 8 p.m., sometimes the students are just off work or having after a long day. They might, although they're interested in the topic, they might not be totally there. But with a little bit of peppermint, everybody spruces up a little bit and pays a little bit more attention. So that's something.
That's incredible.
That I do. So hopefully I won't get sued for
well,
that.
I hope, guys, you took all of the notes. If not, rewind the video and get the list of all the oils.
Right.
And the last thing we're going to talk about is, what are some things to keep in mind when buying the oils? Can I go and buy all the oils at Whole Foods, or can they be too old, too young? Is there a place where they should be coming from?
Okay, so, my rule of thumb is that what you would want to do is to be sure that whatever oil, whatever company you're buying from is a good and reputable company. And as much as possible, you would want to buy organic. Anything that is coming from a rind, or anything that is like a herbaceous type plant, you would want it to be organic or wild crafted. When it comes to things like cinnamon or eucalyptus or rosemary, we really don't need it necessarily to be organic, because these trees, they by nature, they don't attract a lot of insects or pests. So, you just need to know a little bit your plants. But you would want, as much as possible, companies that are reputable, that are preferably wild-crafted or organic. But you also want to buy your oils from somebody that moves oils. You see, there are some oils that actually improve with age, but there are some oils that actually fall apart or oxidize in time.
Which ones would oxidize?
Most of the citrus oils oxidize quite quickly. So you would want to go to a store where there is a lot of frequency in purchase, because you might be buying an oil which already might be a year old between the time it was distilled to the time it's on your shelf, or the time you bought it. And citrus oils, normally 2 years, 3 years, they start oxidizing. And so although they might smell okay, almost, you will notice that there's a stickiness in the quality of the cap, or, there's like...
So look for stickiness, make sure it's not there.
Yeah, make sure it's not there. So if your Whole Foods has, a lot of people buying essential oils, great. But if you have the store which is all dusty, and, like sometimes people like to buy stores at Indian stores, you have to be careful. First of all, India is the number one country of adulteration, and it's actually the number one country for fragrant oil and perfumery. So you might need to make sure that what you're buying is actually the true thing. You might be paying for something that is not actual. And also I would say, I always think that there's karma with oil, or karma with everything.
I love when you talk about it.
So in my estimation, it's not about becoming rich through plant matter. And so you really have to be mindful of like multi-level companies, in my opinion, because I think there's karma involved in some of those things.
Great.
So,
Thank
yeah.
you so much for sharing your wisdom. Guys, in the comments below, please let us know what are your favorite essential oils and how you use them. And if you want to learn more about essential oils, get a one-on-one consultation with Sonia. Sonia, where can people find you?
Well, I have a website, soniamasoko.com, and I'm in Albuquerque, and, I'm here, but I actually travel also as well, and willing to travel. So if people want to have a remote workshop somewhere, I love to talk about aromatherapy. So this is the good thing. And so if anybody also has any questions concerning aromatherapy, they can feel free to write to you or at the bottom of this feed, and I'll be happy to answer.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
You are so welcome.